Beijing, China, January 20, 2026. A sweeping and powerful cold wave has gripped vast regions of China as of January 20, 2026, bringing heavy snow, freezing rain, and temperatures far below seasonal norms, severely disrupting daily life, transportation, and public services across central, eastern, and northern provinces. Meteorological authorities report that this storm system has been persistent for several days, and it continues to affect millions of residents as snow accumulates and ice forms on roads, bridges, and rail networks. Since the cold air mass began moving southward over the weekend, cities including Beijing, Zhengzhou, Shanghai, Suzhou, and several regional transport hubs have recorded significant winter precipitation. In parts of Beijing, snowfall exceeded 10 centimeters over a 48-hour period, with heavier accumulation in suburban and mountainous districts. Snowfall was accompanied by strong northerly winds, reducing visibility and allowing drifting snow to recover roads that had already been cleared. In central China, precipitation has alternated between snow, sleet, and freezing rain, creating especially dangerous surface conditions because ice bonds directly to asphalt and concrete. This weather event is unusual not only because of its intensity, but also because of its geographic reach. Traditionally colder northern areas were affected as expected, but the cold wave extended into eastern and southern regions that do not frequently experience prolonged snow and ice. In cities along the Yangtze River Basin, where winter temperatures often remain above freezing, road maintenance systems are not designed for persistent icing, making local streets particularly vulnerable. In several urban districts, temperatures hovered just below zero for extended periods, allowing ice to build up layer by layer on untreated surfaces. National and provincial meteorological agencies issued multiple alerts for cold wave conditions, blizzards, and freezing rain, warning that temperatures could drop another 6 to 10 degrees Celsius in some areas within the following days. Officials cautioned that even when snowfall temporarily weakens, lingering sub-zero temperatures prevent melting, while brief daytime warming followed by nighttime freezing creates repeated icing cycles that worsen road conditions over time. Transportation systems have been among the hardest hit. Across multiple provinces, hundreds of road segments were temporarily closed, including expressways, mountain passes, and key freight corridors. Crews focused first on expressways, major bridges, tunnels, and steep grades, which freeze faster and remain icy longer than surrounding roads. Bridges and elevated roadways are especially dangerous because cold air circulates both above and below the structure, allowing ice to form even when nearby ground-level roads remain merely wet. Traffic police reported a sharp increase in incidents involving vehicles sliding, spinning, or becoming immobilized on slopes and ramps. Although comprehensive nationwide accident figures have not yet been released, emergency response centers confirmed a surge in call volumes related to minor collisions, stalled vehicles, and roadside assistance requests. Tow trucks were dispatched continuously to clear disabled vehicles that blocked lanes and caused further congestion. In several cases, heavy trucks lost traction on inclines, jackknifed, and blocked entire carriageways, requiring hours of coordinated removal efforts. Urban traffic conditions deteriorated rapidly during peak commuting hours. At many intersections, vehicles struggled to start moving when traffic lights turned green, while others slid forward even at very low speeds. In response, traffic officers were deployed to manually manage intersections where signals became ineffective under icy conditions. Bus lanes were sometimes repurposed for emergency vehicles and snow removal equipment, adding further strain to already congested streets. Public transportation services also faced challenges. Municipal bus operators reduced speeds and suspended service on routes passing through steep or poorly treated areas. Some long-distance bus services were cancelled entirely, leaving passengers stranded at terminals and service areas. Railway authorities increased inspections of tracks, overhead power lines, and switches, deploying maintenance teams around the clock to remove ice and ensure stable electrical supply. While major rail corridors continued operating, Some passenger services experienced delays as safety checks were intensified. Airports in northern and eastern China implemented de-icing procedures for aircraft and runways, leading to flight delays and occasional cancellations. Passengers reported long waits during peak travel periods, particularly for regional flights. Ground crews worked continuously to prevent ice buildup on taxiways, while airlines adjusted schedules to accommodate slower turnaround times caused by de-icing requirements. Beyond transportation, the cold wave has disrupted daily routines for millions of people. Local education authorities in several cities announced temporary school closures or shifts to online classes to protect students from hazardous travel conditions. Parents were advised to keep children indoors during periods of heavy snow and freezing rain. Outdoor construction projects were halted, and some industrial facilities adjusted operating schedules to ensure worker safety. Emergency management departments coordinated multi-agency responses involving transportation, public security, urban management, and sanitation services. Thousands of workers and volunteers were mobilized to clear snow, spread salt and de-icing chemicals, and assist stranded motorists. Priority routes included hospital access roads, emergency service corridors, and logistics arteries critical for food and fuel delivery. Temporary assistance points were established along major highways to provide warmth, water, and basic support for drivers delayed by closures or accidents. Power utilities reported increased demand, as households relied more heavily on heating systems. While large-scale outages were not widely reported, crews remained on standby to repair lines damaged by ice accumulation or falling branches. In rural areas, local governments distributed heating supplies and reinforced shelters for vulnerable residents, including elderly people living alone and migrant workers in temporary housing. Agricultural sectors also faced risks. In northern farming regions, authorities dispatched technical teams to reinforce greenhouse structures, adjust heating systems, and protect livestock from prolonged cold exposure. Farmers were advised to monitor water supply lines for freezing and to ensure adequate feed reserves in case transport disruptions delayed deliveries. As the cold wave persisted, logistics companies warned of temporary backlogs, particularly in areas heavily dependent on road transport. Delays in freight movement affected deliveries of industrial materials and agricultural products, although essential goods were prioritized on cleared routes. Distribution centers operated extended shifts to process shipments as soon as conditions allowed. Officials repeatedly urged the public to reduce non-essential travel, check weather forecasts and traffic updates, and prepare vehicles with winter tires or anti-skid chains when traveling through affected regions. Drivers were advised to increase following distances, avoid sudden braking, and remain alert for black ice, especially on bridges, shaded curves, and tunnel entrances where sunlight cannot warm the surface. Looking ahead, forecasters warn that cold air will continue influencing much of the country over the coming days. Additional snowfall or renewed freezing rain remains possible in several provinces, meaning that the recovery of transportation networks may be uneven and prolonged. Even after precipitation stops, accumulated snow and ice will require continuous removal efforts to prevent secondary accidents. As communities adapt to these conditions, the focus remains on maintaining essential services, preventing major accidents, and ensuring that emergency responders can reach those in need. While winter storms are not unusual in northern China, the scale and persistence of this event have tested infrastructure across a much wider area than normal, highlighting vulnerabilities in regions less accustomed to prolonged freezing weather. In the coming days, authorities are expected to maintain heightened alert levels and continue large-scale snow and ice control operations. The public is being asked for patience and cooperation as crews work to restore normal traffic flow and public services. For many residents, daily routines have slowed, with commutes taking longer, deliveries arriving later, and outdoor activities largely put on hold. Despite the challenges, officials emphasize that coordinated emergency planning, real-time monitoring systems, and rapid deployment of resources have helped prevent more severe outcomes. Surveillance cameras, road sensors, and traffic data platforms allow agencies to identify dangerous sections quickly and dispatch assistance where it is most needed. This integrated response has become increasingly important as extreme weather events grow more frequent and unpredictable. As temperatures remain low and winter conditions persist, the situation continues to evolve.